I want to get this.
Like, you're probably going to kill you.
This is me. I think it's apparent I need to rethink my life a little bit.
Okay everyone, hello, it is I, FoxAkimbo, and this is my 10k special. Way too late, it's way too late for me to be doing this, but it's here. At long last, it's here, so that's fun. It took me about a month to get this camera and this setup, but I finally done it, and so today we're going to be going through the FoxAkimbo Iceberg, so you guys can get to learn a little bit more about me. It's completely unscripted, so I really don't know how this is going to go. This is one of my first unscripted videos, as well as my first face cam video, so who knows, but hopefully you guys can learn a little bit more about me and, you know, my life, and we can connect on a more personal level. So I did my own iceberg, but I was also given some entries by my Discord. By the way, you should join my Discord, link in the description, so go join that now if you like my content. But basically, I'm just going to go through this little iceberg that I wrote about my own life, and you guys can get to know a little bit more about me. So yeah, that should be fun. So first up, we have the everyone should know tier. So this is, you should know this, right? You should know this. Up at the very top, we got FoxAkimbo. That is who you know me as. It's my online persona, and a very good one at that. I really like the YouTube channel FoxAkimbo myself, and it is this. This is FoxAkimbo right here. All of it, all of him in his flesh and glory. It is I. Next up, we have British. If you can't tell by my accent, I am a Brit. I live in the south of England, and that is as much information as I'm going to give away. I am British, but a lot of my heritage is from general European. I'm a very white guy, but I've got kind of heritage from Scandinavia, France, Ireland, Italy, we think. But I am inherently British, as British is the tea that we stole from other countries. And yeah, that's just me being British. We don't need to cover that too long, you already know that. Let's keep on moving. So we got Iceberg Charts next. I make them. We got the Discord is my next entry, and yeah, link in the description. Same thing as my Patreon. That's the next one on the iceberg, you know, just putting it out there. I've got a Patreon. Chris M and K101 are the legends who have supported me so far. Link for both the Discord and the Patreon in the description. Whether you're an artist, a musician, or just like my content, go join the Discord. We got such a great community going on there. My first public video is my next entry, and it is in defense of Grandpa Joe. And it's a hot take for a first video, but I try and explain why Grandpa Joe is hated, and not for the reasons of the movie. Like, not because he is committing fraud, you know, and not because he pretends to be disabled and then he just gets up and does a song and dance number. It's more that I believe that people like the movie, and they want to kind of keep it alive with memes and stuff. That's at least what I think. And, you know, I went into the Grandpa Joe subreddit, and it's a really fun time. It's actually a really good video. It's probably one of my better ones, despite being my first. Moving down the iceberg now, we have I've mentioned it in passing, which is stuff that I probably have mentioned in a video or two, but I wouldn't expect everyone to know it. So up first, we've got numerous fears. I've spoken about my fears many times. I don't think there's anything wrong in talking about your fears. I think especially as a bloke, sometimes, you know, it's like, oh, I don't have any fears. Everyone does. For me, it's like squids. I don't like squids and octopuses. What else? Heights off. Yeah, heights. I don't like heights, like at all. Probably just death in general. Scared of dying, scared of torture, that kind of stuff, that general stuff. The original channel's purpose. So not a lot of people know this, and I've mentioned it before, but this was not originally meant to be an iceberg channel, because why would it be? It just so happens that that was what people started to know me for, what videos got big. I made this channel in January 2021, right? So originally it was meant to be a Dream SMP channel, because I saw a lot of low quality, high view videos that just took 2 minutes to make and then would garner like, you know, 100,000 views, 70,000 views, 120,000 views. And so I thought that I would try and do that, because I thought it would take a really short amount of time and the views would be crazy, and I could kind of build upon that. And then from there, I did the Dream SMP Iceberg. and that one's been taken down. And that video was my most successful, so I thought, let's just do another iceberg. And so then I did the Disney iceberg, which was even more successful. And so then I did the Pixar iceberg, which was even more successful. And I tried to find my niche in Disney and Pixar, but that didn't really work for me. I didn't want to talk about that too much. But I realized that the Iceberg Charts worked, so I decided to carry on with them. And that's kind of where we are 12k later. Although this is meant to be a 10k sub special, we actually have 12 now, but 12k later, it's an Iceberg channel now, so whether or not it will evolve again, I can't say. I don't like to kind of get stuck in a rut. I do like to experiment and explore, so it probably won't be an Iceberg channel for all time, but we'll kind of see where the next evolution comes. My birthday is today. Thank you very much. It is my birthday, and I'm having a good time. I mean, technically it's not, it's actually the 22nd of July, the day I'm recording this, but the time it goes up though, it will be my birthday. I'm gonna make sure of that. So yeah, it's my birthday, it's July 24th, my birthday. And it's my 20th as well. I'm 20 by the time you're watching this. Not actually right now, but in 2 days I will be 20. Tales of Lost Media, that is another one where I've done 2 episodes of that series. It's kind of dead in the water, but who knows, there might be a 3rd episode if I ever find something that's interesting enough and hasn't been covered yet. The reason why it's kind of dead is because the 2 videos that I've done on Lost Media are kind of some of the worst performing videos on my channel. Despite that, they're fun to make, but they just don't garner me the views, and also I think that other people have kind of made better Lost Media videos, and on top of that, Lost Media is really hard to kind of talk about because what are you going to show for visual? Nothing, because it's lost. I mean, it's kind of tough, but maybe there will be another Tales of Lost Media in the future if I ever find the right subject. Fox's Weekly Bops is my weekly Spotify playlist that I put up on the Discord, and it has all of my favourite songs, or 10 songs that I've been listening to that week, and I put it up there, and everyone can kind of have a listen and just experiment and explore. I listen to a lot of indie artists, and artists that might not have 10 million monthly listens on Spotify, so I try and like spread them in with more popular artists, and so people can start to discover music that they might not have heard before, and it really helps the artists out as well as expands people's music taste. So I think that's a really cool thing I've been doing. Fox's Weekly Bops in the Discord. Join the Discord. We've got YouTubers I hate. I'm gonna get into a bit of beef here with basically everyone. I hate a lot of YouTubers. I do have strong opinions on a lot of YouTubers. I think a lot of YouTube is Obviously you've got the classics, you know, the Jake Pauls and Rice Gums that are just vapid and vain, superficial assholes. So Young is also another one that I despise her content, and anyone that does mukbangs with live animals can absolutely get in the bin because they are awful. They are awful, awful human beings. Kill an animal first and then eat it. That's what I'm saying. And then there's also a lot of smaller kind of YouTubers and stuff. A lot of commentary channels I hate. I think I've spoken about it before, but it's just this never-ending cycle with them where they will report on each other's misfortunes and their mishaps, and then they will get cancelled themselves, and then this new plucky kind of smaller commentary channel will cover it. That video exposing the previous one will get like 1 million views. They'll rise, they'll get cancelled. This other smaller commentary channel, it's the worst thing ever. It's kind of like high school bitching at each other. I hate commentary channels. Most of them. I hate most commentary channels quite badly. I don't like video essay channels that much. Like, they kind of, either they are awesome and I love them, or they are Satan incarnate and have everything wrong and just use big words to try and look big and sound like they know what they're doing, but they actually don't. I mean, no one does. Like, if you're doing a video essay, you're not good enough to be behind the camera unless you're Chris Stuckman or something. And he's not even, he's just a critic, you know. But I really don't like a lot of video essay videos and stuff, but yeah. Anyway, what do we have next? YouTube inspirations. Because I've been watching YouTube for my entire life. Like, I think everyone has. Everyone that is watching this, unless you're like 30, has probably been watching YouTube from the time they were like 6. YouTube came out when I was 4. I wasn't watching it then, but I was probably watching it by 2007, 2008. You know, remembering when I could never find a video that was more than 4 years old. It's crazy. And there's been a lot of good times. I've had a lot of good times watching so many great videos. I think I mentioned before the Creature Hub. Those were my boys back in the day. And then Cow Shop after that. Fucking love Markiplier. Love him. And obviously like PewDiePie. And don't mind me, actually. I'm just going through my subscriptions right now to have a little look at who I watch and who I love. Obviously, yes, Smosh. Smosh was huge. I love them. Chugga Conroy, that's a name from the past. Obviously, I love the new wave of Minecraft YouTubers. I hate everything, I love him. Jay Foreman. Jay Foreman is such a great content creator, and I think he's quite underrated as well, so you definitely watch his videos. Exerbia, and Sidemen as well. Matt Stoney, I love watching Matt Stoney devour stuff, he's quite fun. Both Mr. Beast and Mr. Beat as well. Completely different content, but both very good channels. I quite like the animation YouTubers. I quite like a lot of them. Yeah, I mean, I have so many inspiration. Everyone has such a long list of YouTubers they just love and enjoy. And although my list isn't maybe as long as it was 5 years ago, there's a lot of really high quality YouTube content going on right now, and that's great to see. That's really good to see. The Drunk Mysteries pilot. So if you have been paying attention to this channel, I have mentioned this series that I want to do called Drunk Mysteries, and the pilot is hopefully, now that I've got this camera, it's hopefully going to be in the next couple of weeks. I want to get the series started before summer finishes, and the idea, right, is that I take Drunk Mysteries, the TV show, and also like a bit of BuzzFeed Unsolved, and I kind of give them a little mishmash, and from there, me and a fellow content creator will have a couple of beers, we'll turn the camera on, and then having done prior research, we have to try and recite the story of whoever we've researched. And the only rules are that it has to be an unsolved mystery, or there has to be some sort of paranormal kind of phenomena at play. And so each episode, we will both take it in turns to give 2 stories or 3 stories, depending on how long the video is, of just complete random mysteries that we're trying to talk about whilst drunk, trying to tell these stories whilst completely pissed. I think that'd be a really fun concept, and so I'm going to do a pilot of it quite soon. Deleted videos, yeah, that's happened. I've deleted 3, or at least privated 3 videos, which is why when I say I'm X amount of videos in, it doesn't actually correlate to how many videos it has on my channel. I might say, I think I'm on 63 now, but I only have 60 available. So a few people have commented before, like, oh, you say you're this many videos in, but you're not. I've made that many videos for this channel, and then I've had to delete a few along the way, but hey-ho, for various reasons, but most of them are just, it's bad or it's cringe. So, my best nutshot. This is a story that I've told once, and this is the first of many stories that will happen today. All it is that I remember I was in year 11, so I would have been like 15, and then me and my friends were in the geography room, and I used to be a theatre kid, and we were kind of revising our lines for this big thing we had to do in the assembly, and I got a ruler, and I got a rubber, and I used it, ruler flat like that, rubber there, and I just catapult the rubber, and it bounces off the table and hits my mate square in the nuts. I think every guy will probably have a best nut shot moment of like just the 1,000,001 odds, and it just went across the classroom, bounced off a table right in the nuts, and it was a funny time. And yeah, my best talents. So if you know me in real life, you will know that I'm quite good at pool, like snooker and stuff like that. I usually kind of choke on the black. I'm not great on the black ball because it's just a bit much pressure, but when I'm sinking like reds or stripes or spots or whatever you want to call them, you know, you got the reds and yellows, you got the stripes and spots, I sink them. Like, I can make some incredible shots. I do a little bit of chess from time to time. I think I peaked at like a 1350 yellow or something like that. Or maybe it was a 1400. It was somewhere around 1350, 1400 I peaked. And I then started going down, so I stopped for a bit, but I'll eventually get back on it. Obviously, I'd like to think that I'm at least a decent bit good at video editing, because that's kind of how I'm here right now. My videos are nothing but editing. A little bit of script writing here and there, a little bit of audio editing, but generally 99% of what I do is just video editing. And yeah, I'd say that's probably like my big talent. Oh, and I can throw stuff up in the air and catch it in my mouth with like 80% accuracy, which is better than anyone that I've seen. So I call that a talent. The Reading 2019 fiasco, as I call it, was a fun little experience. I got to go to Reading for the first time back in 2019. There was so much stuff that happened there. I saw so many great bands, but the big thing was that on the first night, I had gone that day, I'd gone out to the Tesco and I bought my entire weekend's worth of beer and cider, probably about like 40 tinnies between 3 days or something like that. It was a lot. Like, it was a hell of a lot. And for one reason or another, I had a few people's money because I had gone out to get a few people a few things. And that night, before I got the chance to give it back to them, some people went into my tent. And I did not have my bum bag on me, I had it in the corner. And they unzipped my tent, went into the tent where I was sleeping, I was unconscious, and just grabbed my bum bag and left. And this was on the first night. I had another 4 or 5 days to go before I was back home, and I had zero money, my wallet was gone, and also my 18th birthday present from one of my friends, which was a Pickle Rick portable charger, and that was all gone. Everyone's money was gone. It was like £200, £250, and I lived like a pauper for the entire weekend. I did not buy anything else. I had my alcohol, that was all I was going to do, and the nice people of Reading gave out a few breakfasts and stuff, and that was really, really kind of them. I met so many kind people in Reading. Reading's a really awesome city. I'm sure it would be, if not for my stuff getting stolen, but that was that, and overall it was a good weekend, but that was a bit The 3 Proms story is... I mean, I don't really know if it's much of a story. I had 3 proms, each of them worse than the last. My first prom was my official prom for graduating high school, 11 when I joined, and then when I left I would have been 15. So that was my first prom, and that was awesome. But then I got invited to the Catholic girls' school prom because reasons, but I went there, and actually my date was going out with my friend, which is a bit weird. I was trying to get with someone else. End of the night, I didn't get with her. I struck out, and I ended up sleeping in a farmer's field that I did not know, and I slept under the stars in a hay bale, completely pissed. My friend was there with me to make sure I didn't get mugged. He wasn't as drunk as I was. I was completely gone. So that one wasn't great. And then my alcoholism also caused me problems for my third prom, which was for graduating 6th form. I was 17. My birthday was in about a month or two. And I was a bit foolish, and I was drunk. I was so drunk that I was asked to leave after a couple of hours. So that wasn't great. If you're underage, do not drink. Do not get heavily smashed at your prom. It's caused me many problems. That is another one of the entries on the iceberg, is my experiences with alcohol. I'm a 20-year-old British man. By 20, every bloke in England has been completely f***ed up at least 73 times, and they have made at least 32 massive mistakes, and I've probably made about 40. So it's part of being young and stuff, but I definitely have had problems in the past where I overdid it a bit, or I said something stupid, or I was just completely out of it for one reason or another. I think it's important to say now that drink alcohol responsibly. It's a bit of a rite of passage in the UK, but nonetheless, you should still drink responsibly, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've made a lot of people unhappy from time to time. But that's the way the iceberg works. We're starting to get into the nitty-gritty, the dark stuff, and that's just what I've been doing for the past couple of years, is just getting way too drunk and causing problems for myself that I'll later have to fix. Front Row Bastille. So yeah, I said I was at Reading 2019. I was front row Bastille. I love Bastille, and I was in the front row. I had to sacrifice seeing Foo Fighters to see Bastille, but I decided at the end of the day that I would rather see Bastille in the front row than Foo Fighters just in the crowd. That was the decision I made, and I also went alone. All of my friends went to see Foo Fighters, but he was awesome, and I would definitely recommend it. So these are things that people that are very close to me would know. My Discord probably wouldn't, general friends probably wouldn't, you definitely wouldn't unless you are one of my close friends. So, related to William the Conqueror is up first, and I've spoken about it before to a few of my closer friends, but there is evidence to suggest that one of my great ancestors was William the Conqueror's uncle. Of course, 1,000 years back, everyone's going to be related to some extent, but this is something that they can directly trace back and say that you are directly related to William the Conqueror. Your ancestor was his uncle. It's just a little cool tidbit that I thought I'd mention. Can't taste bitter, more genetics. I don't think I can taste bitter. I don't know what bitter tastes like. If someone said eat this and it was bitter, I couldn't tell you. At pubs, I'll have bitters, and I don't care because I can't taste bitter. It's a bitter fact of life, but it's just something that I can't do, you know? I couldn't taste bitter better if I tried. Political leanings, not going to get into it with strangers over the internet, but I am politically informed. I have my opinions, as do you. Spoiler, I'm not a communist and I'm not a fascist, despite people saying that I'm both in my comments. Some people are like, oh, this snowflake f***ing soy boy, and other people are like, oh my god, this guy's a Nazi. Neither. USA immigration failure. This year, as part of my university degree, I tried to move over to the US for a bit. I thought I'd do a year abroad. Unfortunately, that was not destined to be because for various reasons, a bit of bureaucracy kind of got in the way, and unfortunately I wasn't able to move over to the US. It would have only been a year, but it was something that I had my heart set on for a long time, and it really sucks that I wasn't able to do it. But on the bright side, I can at least stay here and kind of chill about for a bit, and then I can go next year or the year after. I own the rights to a Stephen King novel. This is something that I'm going to get into in a future video, but technically, yes, and you'll find out how in a future video. That's a little bit of spoilers, maybe a little bit of an intro to maybe a video that I'll be doing in a couple of weeks, a month or two. But yeah, technically, I own the rights to a Stephen King novel. I just had to get a few things sorted out before I can share my story. The reason I tried to learn the keyboard, as with man throughout history, the only reason we ever do anything is for certain reasons. I basically tried to learn the keyboard because I had a mate at my sixth form, which is like an older school. You'd be like 16, 17, 18 when you go there for the internationals. I had a friend at my sixth form who learnt the keyboard to try and impress women, and he told me that it worked. It did not. I tried to bust out keyboard skills. I shouldn't probably be saying this story because maybe there would be someone at my sixth form that knows me and watches my videos, but I tried to learn the keyboard to get the girls, to get the ladies, and eventually it didn't work. So, learning any musical instrument is awesome. It's just important to do it for the right reasons, because once I eventually got kind of rejected, my motivation kind of went down, and I was getting quite good as well. I can tickle the ivories to an extent, but I haven't really been practicing too much recently because there's no one I really want to impress. So the keyboard, troubles with alcohol, and then this next entry, the true FoxAkimbo, is in something that family will know, because when you get down to it, your true self isn't something that many people know. You at your most vulnerable, your best friends might know, but your family would have been there from the start. You know, they would have been there at your cringiest moments when you were like 5 years old, at your lowest moments. Who you are, who you were defined as, is something that very few people know, and it's the same as me, right? You will only see what I do, what I edit, what I put up. My friends will see kind of this masquerade that I put on, you know, and for the most part, it is who I am, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that the only person who truly knows who you are is you, because you've spent every second on Earth with yourself. You might have spent days, weeks, months, maybe even years with some people, you know, being in the same room, chatting to them, being in each other's lives. I'm sure you have, but the true persona, who you are, is such an interesting concept. It's something that just interests me, is just who, the fabric of who we are. Like, you think you do, you think you know people, but you don't know people. I don't know, that's just something I thought I would put down, you know, near the bottom of the iceberg, because we're getting into the very deep stuff now. Unpopular opinions. I believe that Friends is overrated. I think that brand names on clothes, when that's like the centerpiece, is stupid and always looks bad. I think that kind of clothing trends are awful. Basically all of them. Like, if you've got a shirt that just says brand name, it's nothing. Like, it doesn't look good. I believe that celebrity culture is overblown, and I think that celebrities should just kind of be treated like normal human beings rather than gods and icons. I hate modern music, like popular modern music. Anything that's like pop or rap is awful, and even rock as well, actually. I hate it all. Like, anything, any modern music that isn't kind of underground, I guess, that people just don't know about. Smaller artists are awesome. I think that just larger artists are a bit awful. Their songs generally aren't written by themselves, and when they are, they're just about dumb stuff. I think that movies are better than TV shows, which is more and more of an unpopular opinion as time goes by. I believe that streaming services are good, but I actually prefer when TV shows come out kind of weekly rather than binging, because something like, say, a mystery show, for example, does not work if you can just binge through it all. I kind of like the water cooler chat of days of yore, where you were just able to kind of sit there and just chat. Just chat about what happened on the last episode of Lost, or what happened, what do you think is going to happen on the next episode of Sopranos. I think that we should have that back. Biggest regrets is something that's very personal to each person, right? I've definitely said some things that I shouldn't have to people that I hold dearly, and I've definitely done things that I shouldn't have done. It sucks, but you just have to live with it. It's something that every single person, you know, you make your bed and then you have to lie in it. Oh, I definitely regret not making the most out of club nights before COVID kicked in. I mean, obviously, like, shooting your shot and stuff, and not talking to people you're interested in, definitely do that. I think that's something I've learnt now that I'm 20, now that I'm in my 20s. You know, when you're younger, you have regrets of what you did do. When you're older, you have regrets of what you didn't do. And I guess that's probably how you can tell how old you are. Do you have more regrets on what you did or what you didn't do? Right now, I definitely have more regrets over what I have done, but I'm sure in years to come, I will start to have regrets of stuff I didn't do when I was a teenager. That I missed my coming of age. That I never had a grand adventure or something like that, you know? It's all just stuff to think about, to be honest. So, yeah, we're in the It Was Once Said. Biggest regrets was the first one in It Was Once Said. The next one is the cursed iceberg's true meaning. So if you've been a fan of the channel for a while now, you might know the video I made called The Cursed Iceberg. What you might not know about it, however, is the true meaning of the iceberg. And I'm not going to give away any secrets, but it was meant to be the launch of an ARG. The only problem with this, however, was that I'm still quite a small channel and I don't have access to a lot of stuff. So I put the ARG on hold, but maybe one day, in a year or two, if FoxAkimbo is still alive and kicking by then, we will get back to it, you know, and that'd be quite fun. So onto the censored tier now, we have a I mean, it's pretty damn crazy. And the last tier we have is Never Speak of This. And I have 2 entries. 1, I was once stuck in a 1,000-year time loop. That happened. I was stuck in a time loop one day, and I will never speak of it. It was probably the most terrifying experience of my life. I'm not gonna lie. I have reason to believe that I was once stuck in a time loop. Whether or not you believe me is another question. That's what I experienced, and It was a crazy, crazy paranormal experience that I suffered. The last thing I want to talk about is, I've dubbed it a moment in time, because you will never get this moment back. You know, time is something that you will never get back, and you're always heading for the future. You're always in the present. The future never arrives because you're just living in the present. But I am here on my 20th birthday, so I'm feeling a bit kind of nostalgic and stuff. And I won't get my teens back. I will never be a teenager again. And, you know, I sound like I'm turning 50, but it's something to reflect on, I think, as you get a decade older. I don't know, it's something that I appreciated in my teens, but I'm never going to get them back. And in terms of FoxAkimbo, we have this moment now. Like, me and you, whoever you are, you know, we have this moment. Right here, right now, just me and you. If your brother's there, your sister's there, your friend's there, chuck them to one side. I'm talking to you. Who knows how the future will unfold? Definitely not I, right? But when it comes down to it, right now, right this moment, we have 10,000 subscribers. I can't tell you that this channel is going to go on forever. I can't tell you that we will ever reach my current goal of 100,000 subscribers. I can't tell you that. But we have this. We have this moment. It's a cause for celebration. It's a cause for reflection of how I've got here over the past 7 months. And there have been times where it's been tough. There have been times where I wanted to stop. But, you know, I never could. And that's just where I'm at now. So that's all I really want to say on that front. That was a moment in time. And that's it for the video. That's it from me. I want to thank you guys all for getting this far, if you've gotten this far. It's really been a wild ride. Remember, you know, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, Discord, Twitch, email me at FoxAkimbo, the whole lot. You know, get into contact with me, because I love to see your comments. I love to see what you have to say. I love to see little factoids that you can kind of chuck in there. And I like talking to you guys, which is why I have the Discord and I'm very active in it. And I talk to everyone. Obviously, shout out to Cage101 me as well, shout out to me, because I made this iceberg. And this is the start of a new era for the channel, one with Facecam. And it's an era that I'm really excited to get into. So, thank you very much for watching. It's been a wild ride. We're 12,000 strong, and we just keep on going. So, please let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see me do next, as I'm only 63 videos in, and I'm already out of ideas. Thank you for watching.